First of all, team news. Joe Ledley didn't play the other night. Dwight Gale has come off in the last couple. How are they looking for this week?
It wasn't an injury, Dwight. Dwight just felt ill just prior to the game, and then he didn't feel right. I think you could see that in the first sort of 15 minutes. So we left him till half time, but he didn't feel any good. Joe's just got a problem. He's had a problem when I first came. He missed a game when I first came with a hip problem, which flared up again. So we don't know about him. Obviously leaving him. It's usually about a week, which is touch and go for the weekend. But he responded last time, so we're hoping that he'll be available. We won't know till nearer the time.
Is that an ongoing thing that might need addressing at some point?
I don't think so. At the moment, it just flares up. I think he first of all did it when he was away with Wales, one of the games. But we managed to control it, but he couldn't. It was one of those. I'll tell you what happened last time. He was actually on the bench as a sub, and he never felt it at all. And he would go in to warm up, and it just went, and he couldn't come on. I wanted to put him on, and he couldn't come on as a sub, and he was about a week after that, in the treatment.
This weekend, Tottenham away. You come off a defeat, which you admitted yourself it was a disappointing one, but you're going to Tottenham, who themselves say they don't particularly like playing at home. Some of their players have said as much as well. They're coming for defeat as well. Is this perhaps a good time to be going to get them in terms of you bouncing back and them coming off a defeat as well?
I thought they played ever so well against Everton, if I'm honest, the last home match. And 20 minutes the other night. I don't think 3-0 was a true reflection, but it's one of those things. It's they might be saying the same about us. It's a good time to play them. Every game's difficult in this league, and when you go to one of the top half sides, expectations are far greater with all the home teams. But we have to be ready. We have to compete and try and give them a good game like we did at Swansea. Where that could have. We had to hang in there for the 20 minutes, and I'm sure Tottenham and the players will think the same.
After the start that you've had just the one win in the last 8 matches. Is that after maybe a new manager bounce and then a drop off, or have the performances remained consistent? It's just the results haven't perhaps gone.
Yeah, I don't think we've played. I don't think we've changed too much. I think in most games we had opportunities to win the games. We haven't. I think we haven't got enough firepower really. When you look at all the other teams, they've all got main strikers to select from. I think the lads are doing as well as they can. We do need improvement in that area, which we are looking to sort of address in January. But I can't fault the lads forever. I think you've got a good group. You could be interviewing probably one of 7 or 8 managers, and you'd say the same thing. That's the Premier League. It's cruel. We win the game, we're in 12th position. And I felt we should have won the game. So it is difficult, but it's not that I can't fault the lads. The lads are giving me everything and trying hard. We just can't. We couldn't finish the other night, and that's the top level. That's what you've got to do.
You said lacking in firepower and that perhaps let you down the other night. And you said after the match, if you had a player like Benteke, it would have been different, and that's what we'd be looking to address in January. But are there players like Benteke out?
Well, you've got to get the best you can for your club, really. And we're looking all over the place. We finalised sort of targets. So we've got hopefully a choice of where we're going to go, and then we've got to work out all the financial aspects of it and try and come up with the right one for the club. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment. Trying to get the right players in. It's no good just bringing players in that are on a par with what we've got. We've got to try and improve the squad. The squad of the fabulous group of players, but we've got to try and improve the squad so we've got more of a choice. We had to have a young lad on the bench the other night because we were that short. So it's a matter of trying to get the squad in general in a better quality, so we have more options off the bench, etc.
I know a lot of fans on social media are asking, well, we've got Glenn Murray out on loan at the moment. He's due to come back in January. Do you see him coming back and perhaps coming back into the squad and pushing for a place?
Well, I spoke to Glenn yesterday. I'm always keeping in touch with my players. It's a difficult one because when I came, he more or less pleaded with me to go and play some games, and I think he's I've explained the situation to him. I wouldn't be as what's the word? I wouldn't be as agreeable you know, because he'd have played the other night if he'd have been here, you know, so I wouldn't be as agreeable to help a player. I think I've got to look after the club now and myself regarding the squad, so it will have to be beneficial to us for the second half of the season, definitely.
There's been talk of a takeover at the club. While that's going on, is it difficult to focus on particular targets because you don't know who's going to be in charge, what sort of funds might be available and so on? Does that make your job?
Not really. I think all my job's got to be is to try and put the targets before the chairman and then, you know, see if we can get them over the line. You know, obviously a club like Palace, we aren't going to spend 20 million quid on a striker, are we? So, you know, we've got to get value for money at the same time. January is not an easy time in the market. But, you know, we've got our targets and then, you know, the chairman will talk to them and try and get it over the line.
Just one more from me. This is the game last season where Jason had the penalty, which caused a bit of an argument between the two of you. I mean, is that something that's water under the bridge now? How is your relationship with it?
It is. I think it's only being brought up by people like yourselves. We've put it to bed a long time ago. Within weeks of it happening, everything was put to bed, and Jason's been a really important part of the squad before and after that event.
Neil, you said after the defeat to Aston Villa that result means you're going to have to now go and win at some difficult places. Was Tottenham one of the ones you had in mind when you said that? Yeah,
I think every place in the Premier League you've got to look at some teams who are, you know, the points away from home are vital. I think we've done reasonably well, if I'm honest, away from home. We've got to, you know, we've got to keep pushing on and trying to pick as many points up as we can. But at the end of the day, we have to right the home form against the teams in that bottom half. You know, it's no good getting great points away from home and then blowing it at home. So, you know, we have to rectify both departments, really.
Is there a sense of that? Because obviously great win against Liverpool, a point at Swansea, but then against one of the rivals in the bottom half, you get beat at home.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't run on the pitch and put them in the net, you know, otherwise I would help.
It's so tight down at the bottom. Do you think this could be one of the tightest battles against relegation we've seen?
Oh yeah, we all know. I think everybody knows there's about 9-10 clubs that are involved. It's like almost like 3 divisions again. It used to be, you know, I think at one stage a couple of years ago it was 2 divisions, but now it's definitely 3 back to 3 again now. I think there's that group below the top 2, you know, fighting out for Champions League positions, and then there's the you know, the bottom 10.
Looking at the positives from the Villa game, plenty of possession, got in round the back a few times, and James McArthur I thought had a very good game, as did Wilf Zaha getting round back, and with Yannick and Millet being away in January, that's got to be a good thing.
Got to be a good thing, what?
Well, just seeing that, you know, they can step in and...
Oh, I thought you meant they've got to be a good way. Yannick being away, he's away. I thought, no. I mean, obviously we don't want our better players being away, but it's a, you know, when you get picked for your country, it's a fabulous thing for the lads. And I don't think Congo, you know, he's an instrumental, Yannick, and the skipper Jelinek is, you know, in Australia squad. So we can't do anything about that. But I think MacArthur's shown at Old Trafford when we hadn't got Jelinek. I think that helped us in a way to look at January and say, you know, don't let's worry as much as we probably should have done. And likewise with Balazi, I think, you know, yes, we're looking to improve the squad, and it may be that we look for another wide pair to supplement the squad as well, you know, whether it be on loan or in the permanent market. You know, we do need options off the bench. I agree with you on that.
Thanks.
Chris?
Neil, you talked in your book, you told a story about how you drummed into the QPR defenders that if in doubt, kick it into the stands, and then in one game, Anton Ferdinand kicked into the stands and gave you a wink. Are you hoping for a similar reaction from Scott Dan next time?
I think Scott knows how I feel. You know, I think he's not naive. We know one or two things said the other night, and I think that you know, it's just ironic that probably our best defender this season, most consistent defender this season, made one blemish, and unfortunately we as a team couldn't get him out of the cart. Really, you know, it would have been nice to get the result so that it didn't. That wasn't the vital mistake. You can put on one hand how many mistakes he's made this season, you know, and he's been very, very good. So you know, we've just got to get on with it now. He's part of the team. I'm sure, like Scotty said, I read Scotty saying, you know, we should have scored more goals. It's a team game, really. So you live and, you know, you have your wins and you have your defeats, and you've all been it together, really.
Sticking with the defence, against Swansea, Ward and Kelly swapped fullback positions and you swapped them back again for Villa. Was that something specific for the Swansea game, or is it something you...
Yeah, I mean, they're both comfortable. I felt the other night possibly Kelly going forward might have given us a little bit more in that position. But overall, it's a toss-up really. They're both good players and both can play both sides. It is nice to have a natural left footer at left back, but at the moment, those two have got the position. So, it's whichever I feel who we're playing against. Sometimes I just change it.
And you signed Zeki Fryers from Spurs. What does he have to work on and to do to get into the side?
He's working on now. It's just getting games under his belt. It's difficult when you're not playing to get games under your belt, but you've just got to keep plugging away and training and try and catch my eye, like Wilfred did and like Dwight did a couple of weeks ago. You've just got to do it on you can't. The manager can only see on the training ground. That's what's got to turn you into selecting people.
And you've got a busy period coming up in December. Are you happy with the depth in the squad?
Well, no. I mean, I would like more choice. We have a problem. Doyle's got a problem at the moment, which doesn't look like clearing up. He's back at Wolves at the moment. They're deciding whether they're going to operate, and I don't think they will do. But he's a problem. Andy Johnson's got a problem as well. So we are really a bit thin on the ground at the moment. Delaney's training. But whether he'll be available for the squad on Saturday, I don't think so. But if there's any doubt, we'll probably leave that another week to make sure, because we've got Stoke the following week, haven't we? But we've been lucky this week. I've been crossing my fingers. We've got one to go, but we've only had 2 centre halves really. Well, we've only had 4 defenders for 2 games, and we've got through those. If we can get through Saturday, then I will breathe a sigh of relief.
Neil, just going back to what you said about Glenn Murray, you said you spoke to him yesterday. Did you discuss what might happen with him in January?
Yes, I did, yes.
And what was his...
I won't be telling you.
And did you speak about his general mood, how's he enjoying it out of the club?
No, we get reports on, Reading, Nicky Hammond at Reading is very good. When you loan anybody, you get, weekly copies of the games and a report on how they feel they're doing, and so we're always on top of things like that, looking at how he's doing. He's had a mixture of ups and downs himself, at Reading. So.
Neil, thanks.
Hold on, Pete.
Yeah, Neil, are you surprised about the way perhaps Tottenham underachieved, because they throw massive resources at the game, they're always changing their manager, but every season they sort of almost get there?
I'm not surprised at anything that happens in the Premier League, if I'm honest. So, but as I've said in the past, I'm not really too concerned about other clubs. I think you have enough worries when you're running a football club in the Premier League to worry about opponents or other teams in the league. We've all got problems, Obviously, the bigger clubs probably got bigger problems because of the financial aspect that's involved. But we've all got problems on a level with how we are. So, and like I say, I'm not really bothered even commenting about other clubs.
Does their inconsistent form make it more difficult for you to set up for a game against them, because you really don't know what to expect?
Well, we know that we'll expect a tough game. I think we got beat 2-0 last year, and I think when you look at them, like I said, I thought they played really well against Everton. After all, they were playing the best team in the country on Saturday last night, so it's not an unexpected result. And I'm sure they'll be disappointed in a way with the chances that they had early doors, which would have probably put another aspect to the game if Chelsea had been chasing it.
Were you surprised that with the Harry Kane debate, he's only just sort of started to feature as a starter, that it took that long for him?
Yeah, I've tried to get him a few times this year, since I came here, but he's a good lad. I like, he's a genuine lad, isn't he? And what you get with him. He's an exciting player. First thought is positive when he gets the ball. I like players like that commit defenders, and he obviously enjoys it. You can tell with his the face and the smile. He's enjoying it. So, he's a good asset.
You say you tried to have a look at Harry Kane in the summer?
No, when I came, we asked him. We had a lot of players, and he wasn't involved at that time. We felt there was a chance of getting him on loan But unfortunately, they were in that horrible cup on a Thursday night. So we had to. Yeah, we asked about him. Yeah.
Okay, and Spurs' answer was.
Well, I just said to you that they're in the cup, and he was part of the squad.
And just back to Glenn, obviously the fans love him here. In hindsight, was it maybe a little bit of a mistake to let him go out on loan?
Sorry, say it again.
With Glenn Murray, in hindsight, was it maybe a bit of a mistake to let him go?
I don't think so. I mean, we're in December now, 3 weeks away from the deadline. I think up till last night, up till Tuesday night, I think it was the right decision. Really, it's just unfortunate when you have so many players drop out. But if Glenn hadn't been in my side for 4 months, I'm not sure he'd have been a happy bunny.
But he could come back and play a role in January.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.